Good day, people. This is JD. I haven't talked about this topic for a while, but I'm going to. Our economic situation. First thing, the present administration wants to claim several things that really, they're stretching the limit. One is we've turned the curve. No, we haven't turned the curve on anything in our economics. The job loss, and they say, oh, we got a victory. We only have 200,000 jobs lost this month. Compared to 6 months ago, it was 500,000. The truth of the matter is, if we remember when this first started, it didn't start off with 1 million or 2 million jobs lost. It started off with 150,000 job losses. Then it got up and up and up and up, and then we're going over 500,000. Well, now we're getting near the bottom. It's still falling, people. Washington, listen, it's still falling. It's just there's a lot less jobs to lose. I mean, when you take 1% out of 3 million, you get a lot more, or a larger number, than when you take 1% out of 300,000. It's still 1%. Same thing with the jobs. As they're falling and they're going away, eventually we're going to reach a point where less and less people are going to be losing jobs. Not because the economy is turning around, not because the economy is getting better, because there's less jobs left. Now, also, why aren't we in a depression when unemployment in some states are in now the double digits, and I mean like 13, 14%, and nationwide it may be reaching that itself? Why aren't we in a depression? Two little things. Social Security and workman's comp. Two things set up after the last depression to prevent for what happened in the last depression ever happening. And right now, that's the only thing that's holding up our economy. People getting their unemployment checks, or people going on Social Security early than they planned. Plain and simple. Not what the administration is doing today, because you can't turn economics around by just throwing money out. If you don't start changing a trend in this country, we're going to continue on the same path we are. If we don't bring manufacturing back into this country, there's not going to be the jobs that are needed. We're in a world economy, yes, and we should be producing and making things the world is buying, not being consumption of everything everybody else is making. There once was a time when Japan would make something, and then we would make it a little better, and then they would make it a little better, and we'd make that a little better. Now, Japan has these robots they're making the news. Do you hear about anybody in America developing those robots? Making one a little better? A little smarter? A little more human-like? No! Because we don't have the ability any longer. We don't have the manufacturing. It's gone. People, you have to realize this, as long as it continues, as long as Congress sells you out, as long as our government keeps sending our manufacturing jobs overseas, we're never going to turn this economy around. There's several things that add to that. Why is manufacturing going overseas? One, government regulations in this country are so ridiculous that you can't even put in manufacturing plants throughout this country. Two, taxes. Taxes in this country are so costly that we lose taxes. The more and more you raise taxes, the less and less there is to tax, because people leave. Companies go away. Jobs disappear. Greed. Everybody wants to make billions. Nobody's satisfied anymore with making a decent living or living on the upper end. You got to make so much more than you can live by. We have companies where their CEOs are making millions upon millions of dollars every year. They're not even the owners of the company. The owners aren't making anything because it's on the stock market, and all their money is going to pay their CEOs. Also greed, where manufacturing is so expensive because salaries are unbelievable. Look at what the automotive union has done to Detroit, Michigan. Why is Toyota, Hyundai, and all those foreign companies who go to non-union shops able to produce and manufacture vehicles in this country and be very, very competitive price, but yet the American automotives cannot do it? Of course, they don't pay their assembly line workers $65, $75 an hour. They don't have super retirement programs. They have decent retirement programs. I mean, if you look at the retirement programs that GM had, they were so well that a person did 30 years and he left the company and he was getting paid more than he was when he was working. Unions did that. So, what do we got to do to turn things around? What do we got to do to get manufacturing back into this country? You guys have to think about that. Our economy is in a downspin, a tailspin, plummeting. We are in a depression that nobody wants to admit is a depression. And the only way we're going to turn it around is not by bailing out banks, not by throwing billions of dollars to big corporations, but by supporting the individual. Stop them from losing their homes. Bring manufacturing back into this country. Otherwise, these states that have these labor unions requirements are going to lose out and go bankrupt. And the other states who are willing to bring their employment salaries within a reasonable range will develop some manufacturing. But until our government realizes manufacturing is the backbone of all economies, and we have to manufacture items at a level that the world buys it, not just the Americans. You have a nice day. This is JD. Our economy is down, and it's up to us to turn it around. I can do it as your president. It's apparent our present administration cannot. There's too many favors they owe. Too many people they try to please. Have a nice day.